Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. Jayhawk, great. Good news, and we will see you in London. We are here in Jefferson City, Missouri, capital of Missouri. Today we're continuing our tour of the lower 48 states capitals. We'll be flying this DC-3 from here over to Topeka, Kansas, capital, obviously, of the state of Kansas. So let's hop on board, and we'll get the aircraft up and going. That's not it. Forgot where I was for a second. There we go. Alright, so here we are on board. We can get the aircraft fired up and start letting her warm up. So everyone is here. We can close the doors in the back. We'll come up and we're going to switch over to the battery cart. We will turn on our position lights. You can hear everything starting to wind up. Kevin was supposed to be joining us, but once again, unfortunately, sim issues are keeping him away. Alright, sounds like the aircraft is powered up, so let's come over here. We're going to start with the right engine. So we will get the magnetos on. We're going to come down now. We'll do the fuel tanks for both just to get them out of the way. So there's the left engine on the left main, and the right engine on the right main. Mixture will go to auto rich. Propellers fully forward, and throttle cracked about an inch. Generator will go on. Boost pump will go on. And we are set to go. So right engine will energize, start spinning up the flywheel. Here she's up. Oh, we got another DC-3 there. Wonder if Kevin made it in after all. Alright, so let's mesh the right engine and we'll click on the primer. And there we go. We have a good engine start. His engine's smoking. It's one of the problems with these mods. I do something over here and it shows things like opening doors and stuff, which is rather annoying, but we'll live with it. Let's see who that is. Hey, there he is. It is Kevin after all. Good to see you made it in. Nice. Just behind us there. There he is over there. Alright, so with that engine up and going, we can get up the other one. Same thing, we're going to go mags on to both. Mixture is going to go to auto rich. Propeller fully forward. Crack the throttle by about an inch. Hey, Gigliotis, hello, how are you today? Generator's going to come on, boost pump's going to come on. We're going to start energizing the left engine. Hear it winding up. There we go. She's gone to a constant tone. We will mesh and prime the left engine. And there we go. Two engines up and running. Everything is looking great. So we'll let the engine stabilize and warm up. And while that's going on, we can come over here. We can switch over to internal battery. We'll take away the battery cart. We'll turn the avionics beacon lights on. Everything is good there. We'll turn the pitot heat on as well. And we can come up on our radio. So we're going to go to 122.8. which is the VATSIM Unicom, but I use it just out of force of habit. 121.5 for guard. And I'm going to switch that over there. Let's pop in. And just give me 2 seconds here. All right. So as the engines warm up and continue to warm up, of course we'll be watching their temperatures as they all come up into the green. We're going to pull up the weather, and the weather's looking all right. There's a good breeze going, but other than that, it is not too bad. I'll put it into the chat here. Not sure what that just did. I don't want that. That's me clicking the wrong buttons, or actually the wrong keyboard for the wrong computer. There it is into the chat. You can see the winds are 170 at 11, gusting 15. 10 miles of visibility, broken clouds at 6,500, broken at 8,000. And 24 degrees to 9er and 9er 8 is the barrel. So we'll scoot that in on both sides to about there. And we are all looking good down here. The engine and the RPM. Alright, so we'll do a radio check here, and then we're almost pretty well set and ready to go. Let's look out. Kevin's in a menu. So we're going to be using runway, I believe it is, yeah, 12, short taxi out, and then we're going to be flying out to the north. So what we're going to do is tune in our VORs here. We're going to be heading back up to the COU VOR. That's when we came in from yesterday, and that is the 1102. We'll set that up. The second one we're going to is the ANX, which is 114. There we go, and we'll put that one in the VOR2, and then the next one is the Topeka VOR 117.8. And we'll get that in there. So that is ready to go, and transponder. We'll go 5, 5, 5, 6, and we are all good there. Alright, looks like Kevin's up and running, or will be shortly. One last thing we're going to do is turn on the hydraulics for the gyro pilot. There we go. And we are set. Jefferson City Terminal Allegheny 116 radio check. You were readable but very quiet there.
Just stand by.
Alright, so we can get ourselves ready to go. Again, we're just going to be heading out. The end of the runway is right over there, so we'll just wheel around, come out, and go up that way. Alright. Brakes are released.
I want to know if we're going to
You're better. You're about a 4 out of 5 volume-wise.
Roger, that's the best I can do, I'd say, so thank you very much.
Alright, so we're going to head out. Kevin's going to finish his setup and get ready to go as well. So as mentioned, we're going to be taking off, and then when we get about 1,000 feet above the ground, we are going to head off to the north, heading up to the other VOR there, the COU VOR. And we'll be heading back up towards the Columbia area where we came in from yesterday. You also see the trees in the background there. They're get some nice fall colors going. I'm running Rex Seasons Advanced, and yeah, that's the how it should be looking a little bit further south from where I am. Alright, so we're going to go flaps 1. Get that first notch down and ready for takeoff. So batteries on, carts turned off. We have avionics on, beacons on, landing lights are on, position lights are on, windshield heat is off, pitot heat is on. That's all good there. Come across, generators are on, boost pumps are on, mags, and we're all good down the side there. Both generators are providing power. Hydraulics are looking fine. Gear lights are down. Temperatures and pressures are all reading where they should. Fuel is on the fullest tanks. And engines are looking good. Alright. Jefferson City traffic. Allegheny 116 taking position runway 12. We'll pop out again. Distance is 165 miles. We cruise at about 160. We're doing not a straight line, so we're about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes flight time for today's flight. It'll be nice to see what the ground looks like as we fly over, with the new textures and everything that this is supposed to be putting in. Go. We are looking good, and approach path, of course, is clear, and Kevin is taxiing out. Alright, so we are ready to go. We're going to bring the engines up to 20 inches, let them stabilize. So for takeoff, we're going to release brakes, go to 40 inches. We'll put forward pressure on the stick, bring the tail off, let it roll down, and then take off into the sky. We'll be using rudders for steering control, and we should be lifting off around 80 knots. Jefferson City traffic, Allegheny 116, rolling runway 10, left turn departure to the north towards the Columbia VOR. Alright, it's brakes released. Power coming up. 40 inches takeoff power set. Forward pressure on the stick. Rudder to control. That is one hell of a wind. Just pushed the tail on me there. There we go. We got some airspeed. Had to use a bit of brake as well. But we got air flowing over the tail now, which is providing some authority. There's 80 knots. A little bit of back pressure. There we go. And as we rise up, we're going to roll into the wind, and you're going to basically be crabbing out of here, as you can see, given that wind. Positive rate, gear can come up. And gear is up. As we come at the 100 knots, we're going to go to our climb power setting, so the props are going to come back to 2500 RPM, and power is going to come back to 35 inches, and then we're going to readjust the props to 2500 RPM. There we go. And we're going to hold here at about 100 knots, and when we get to about 600 feet above the ground, we're going to bring the flaps up. Flaps can come up. Let's start trimming her back for the climb. Now we want to be climbing around that yellow line there at about 115. We'll get her stabilized. So we're now at 1,000 feet. We're going to make the turn and we're going to head towards the VOR. So looking down, we can see the needle there. It's VOR 1, the thick needle. So we're going to make the turn head over the woods here. Keep her climbing. So I'm not seeing any of the stuttering I was getting yesterday, which is a good sign. I don't know if it was the Phoenix 320 or if it was the sim, the servers, the internet. No idea. But she's looking smooth at the moment. Alright, and there we go. So we're going to work to balance ourselves out here on this heading. First thing we're going to do is we're going to dial us around to roughly the same on the directional gyro. And then we're going to turn it on and we're going to have to work the elevator. I want to get it into the climb. There we go. Try to bring her back to we get a nice 115 knot roughly climb speed. There's 3,000 feet coming up, and we'll adjust slightly more northwards. Work that elevator. Not sure exactly how this is supposed to be set up, but I'm just using it to get our angle of climb and our feet per minute into where I'm sitting around the yellow tag there. And as we climb, we're going to have to keep adding power. So once we reach that VOR, we're going to turn to a heading of 277. So we're going to use this little indicator here just to point us in the roughly right direction. And that will be the beam we're going to fly out from 277. And we can come down here and dial this over to that too. Put us on the right beam. Go out there. Just keeping an eye on that. Don't want to be going up too quickly, especially as the air starts to thin. saying the skies in Kansas were clear, so we'll see what it's like when we get there. Here it was saying there was broken at 6,500 and broken at 8,000. We seem to be coming up on those cloud layers now. And just to confirm, we are going up to 10,000 feet. So that is all looking good. And we're heading towards the town of, I'm guessing Columbia? It's not giving me a name for some reason. Yeah, Columbia. Come down a little bit, get that nose down, make sure our speed is coming up. Starting to get down towards stall speed. I can hear it. Trying to push that nose down. There we go. Yeah, we're on about 500 feet per minute. So one thing I like about this Duckworks mod is it gives you those audible clues as you start to get towards stall speed. Through 6,000 feet. We're going to come up top now. We can turn off the landing lights. We're going to leave the avionics battery on, of course. Position lights, pitot is all good. Hopefully we pop out of the clouds soon. Outdoor temperature is still pretty warm, so we're not too worried about icing, at least not on the surface and everything. We'll watch for carb ice. Not sure if that's modeled in Duckworks, but we're in the danger zone. Let's kick that nose down a bit more again. To go. See the needle starting to swing there, so we're going to turn to that 277 heading now, which will put us about there. And there's the top of the clouds. So this should end up pointing behind us as we fly away from the Columbia VOR. And then we can use that to adjust to get us heading out along the proper course, and eventually this one will flip over, which is the next VOR, which is the Napoleon VOR ANX. And that one is about 91 miles away. There's going to be a lot of countryside we're going to be flying over out here. Alright, so you can see we've got a mile or two distance. We're a little bit off kilter. So we're going to adjust a bit, and we want to go opposite to what it says. So we want to actually be going a little bit more northwards. going to turn away from it, which is actually going to swing this down in line, since we're actually flying outbound on the beam rather than inbound on it. There we go. That's a little bit nicer. And let's crank that around to there. This is taking into account, of course, winds and getting pushed around. We can see the top. We can see the sun. There's Kevin back there. Add a bit more. Goes up to 35 again. There's the top of the clouds. It looks like we'll be skimming along the tops. 1,000 to go. Get ourselves climbing up a little bit faster. It's very nice when you break out. So once we hit 10,000 feet, we'll get her into cruise mode. We're going to level her off, let her accelerate. We'll trail the cowl flaps, bring the mixtures back to auto lean, and then set the power for our cruise. Actually, we'll set the power first, and then we'll go to auto lean. Temperature is still pretty good. Alright, we're full throttle right now. We're just at our climb power, 35 inches, but we're just slightly below. Well, we're coming up for 700 feet, so we're going to start cranking that nose downwards. Be using the gyro pilot to help us trim out for our cruise speed of about 165. And that's miles an hour, not knots. And that's slower than the aircraft actually flew. I'm not sure why it's not flying at what it should be flying at, around 200 miles an hour, but it is what it is. Alright, so we'll get that nose down. There's the speed coming up. There's 140, so we'll trail the cowl flaps on both sides. That'll decrease drag slightly as the cowl flaps on the engines close up. So there's our accelerating. Pump that nose down a little bit more. Couple more notches. All right, let's get our cruise power set. So we're going to go 2,000 RPM on the props. Decreases the noise level a bit. And we're going to bring that power setting back to 30 inches. There we go. Readjust the props to make sure they're sitting right on 20. Push down the nose slightly. Get that speed coming up. And we can bring the mixtures back into auto lean. And there we go. We are now in cruise. And we're tracking out to the new VOR roughly. We're slightly off kilter there, so we're going to once again bring it around a little bit. And we're going to wait for the other VOR to kick in. Now that we're cruising and everything seems to be nicely balanced, I'll tune in the local radio stations. See what we can find here. we go. I can't hear that, but looks like it's playing. Oh, seem to be diving slightly, so let's get the nose up there. Climbing up a little bit. I think we're veering off course a little bit, so I'm going to bring her back down this way to about there. That should bring us a little bit nicer in line for an intercept for that VOR. Alright, now that we're in cruise and we are humming along here, a little programming note. I have family coming to stay this weekend. It is the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. So there'll be no streams over the holidays. And just the day after they leave, I am off to England for a week. So I'm not exactly sure when our next live stream is going to be. I'm going to have some videos that will fill in some of the gaps. But we are looking at potentially the 20th of October, but not entirely sure at the moment. I will put more information up in the Discord so that you can figure out when that is going to be. Looking good, cruising above the clouds. There's Kevin back over that way. And yeah, it's nice up here. It's a pretty heavy cloud layer, but we seem to be looking good. Going to crank us up just so slightly, so we're not dropping down. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll be taking a break for about 2 weeks, and we'll be back after that. So I'm going to go just check on Miss Molly. So I will be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Molly's just lying on the floor outside the office. She's good. Looks like we've dropped the other VOR, so we're kind of in between them now. But we are heading in the right direction, so hopefully we'll pick it up soon. If I do a look, it is a low altitude VOR, so it's not going to be very powerful. We'll see where we pick it up. But everything else is working good. The RPMs are good. The manifold pressures are good. Fuel pressure, oil pressures, our temperatures are all good. And we are pretty much nice and level and on course. And we're starting to get little breaks in the clouds. We look out. See down onto the farm country here. We are heading for the town of Kansas City. We're going to be passing over. It's a fairly sprawling place with suburbs and everything, so I'm not sure if we're going to be flying directly over top of it, but we'll be flying over the center of mass as it is. 114.0, correct, Kevin? I've got it dialed in over here, so I just did a check on it and it said it was a low altitude, so I think it's low power. Probably not going to pick it up until we're about 30 miles. Should be any time now. I am going to adjust again a little bit more southerly on my heading, so I want to bring that down to probably right down to 270, so we'll do that now. So we're just skimming the tops of these clouds here. So the last one is going to be the Topeka VOR 117.8, and that's only a few miles to the northeast of the airfield. Looks nice down there. So the Duckworks came out with an update to their mod. We picked it up today, and kind of have to. I think the Asobo did an update to something, and it changed textures. And I came in, and a lot of these panels were the infamous pink panels. So I have to unload, get the update, and then reload in. Hello, Molly. No, you go lie down. You'll get your dinner after the flight. It's way too early for your dinner anyway. Yeah, it's too early for your dinner. You go lie down. I'll go play with your toys. Yeah. Yep, that's good. Alright, let me just go deal with Molly for a second. Alright, as you can see, VOR2 is picking up the next VOR. So we're going to come over here, we'll switch over, and we're going to switch over to the next one on VOR1. That's going to be that 1178. And we'll get that in the standby. And now VOR2 is pointing off, or VOR1 is pointing off towards the next VOR, which is that Napoleon VOR. And we're heading more or less directly to it, which is good. Would be nice if there was, oh, I have to have a fuel flow gauge in here, which they don't. But that's fine. They added some new views for instruments, so if you've got this, if you want to look at the views, there's the pilot's instrument pack. There's the gyro pilot and the engine manifold, RPM, oil pressure, fuel pressure. Co-pilot's instrument pack. And it comes down to the throttle quadrant. This is the manual trims. There's the parking brake and a couple things for crossfeed and the autopilot. Then come up to the overhead. You've got your lights and anti-ice on one side, engine boost pumps, cockpit lighting, generators, and then your radio stack and everything in the middle. And we have the full end of the gyro pilot. We can come over here to the hydraulics and the cowl flaps. And then we come down here. This is our manuals for the landing gear, the hydraulic pump systems, actuator, and all kinds of neat stuff like that. And then for the last one, it gives you this view out the window, which was interesting. So these are, a few of them have been added with this update by Ductworks, although I've got my own views set up here. As you can see, the engines sound a little bit different from inside. You can hear that buzzing sound. It's interesting. We can get a nice view out the side. See the sunlight on the case, engine case here. It's pretty cool. Oh, that might be. I was just going to say that's a weird sound, but no, that was something else I was hearing. That's Wayne. Hello, Wayne. I just got a hint of Merlin there for a second, and I went, wait a minute. Yes, I can hear the superchargers. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming along. I don't know if you noticed, but Kevin's flying off there to our south. It's nice to have the three of us back in here again. Anyway, we're working our way up to that Napoleon VOR outside Kansas City. And we're getting a little bit hot. Well, there you go. Sneaking up on us again. We'll notch down one notch just to help with the altitude control. 93 miles to go. And we're looking good. With the cloud breaking up like this, we should be able to get some nice views down onto Kansas City. Just looking at the weather still at the airport. It's been reported clear for the last 4 hours. It's going to get cloudy later on, but right now it should still be good. So hopefully this is clearing up. And check your boot. Oh yeah, my boost pumps are still on it. I should turn those off. Yeah, I heard that humming and I was like, something's weird. And then I figured it was a new sound they put in, which I didn't really like. But then I heard the supercharger and I went, oh, I know what that is. So once we pass the Napoleon VOR, it's just a 66-mile hop across Kansas City, out to the west, to the Topeka VOR, and then we'll be on our way down at that point for our approach. With the winds being 340, we're going to be landing on runway 31. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in on the north side, we'll overfly southwest, and then go into a left-hand pattern for runway 31 at Topeka. We're not sure how far away Kevin is, but his aircraft is not showing up. We do have his tag though, so that's good. Again, we should be doing 200 miles an hour in this thing. I don't know why it's so slow. Well, she is looking good. And we're looking down onto the Kansas farm country. Hello, Liam. We have about 86 miles to go, 85 miles to go at the speed we're going and everything. Probably about 40 minutes, 45 minutes left. So you're starting to get some big clear patches in the clouds, which is great. Again, this is the Missouri River, longest river in the U.S., longer than the Mississippi. And yeah, the clouds are starting to, oh, they're breaking up slightly, so that's good. And there we've got our escort has joined us. You're going to the Otter tomorrow. Is that one of those restaurants you were talking about? Yeah, looking really nice down there, those textures. It's a subtle change, but I like what the new Rex AccuSeason Advance is doing. Ooh, so we got some little heat-induced thunder buildups, towering cumulus. There's another one, another couple over there. Oh, I can see Kevin's lights out there now. Must be catching up. Marston's, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we're coming on pretty quickly to the next VOR. We're going to notch a couple to the north here. So make sure we do overfly it. Nice. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to eating out at a few places when I'm there next week. Let's get a couple more cranks in. Hello. Heard you. You need to go outside. Okay. You need to go to the grass? Yes, you do. Okay. So I'm going to turn to our heading. Now, I'll be right with you, Molly. 263. And I'm going to give a slight upwards boost to our path. I'm going to pop outside with Molly for a minute, and I'll leave you with the music and Wayne doing aerobatics around us. I'm doing good, but Molly's kind of indicating she wants to go outside, so let's get a nice view here, following along, and I will be back in a few minutes. All right, First Officer Molly has been taken out to the grass, and we are good. Yeah, Liam, there's no streams for the next 2 weeks or so because I've got family coming for this weekend, which is a holiday weekend here in Canada. And just after they leave, I am heading back to London for a week. So for the next couple of weeks, though, will be nothing. So here's Kansas City. As we can see, the Missouri River running through it. And that's split there. Let's see if I can find that on the map. So it's the Kansas River in the south running through here. And this is the Missouri River running through the north. And the Kansas empties into the Missouri, and the Missouri continues into Missouri. But we are looking good. There's Wayne coming in behind. Not sure where Kevin's gone. Oh, he's over that way now. So we are looking good. We're slightly out of whack on our heading, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn. Let's turn this way, and then we're going to switch over to the new VOR, the 1178. And we'll get that on both. We're not picking it up yet, but we're going to head out there. Watch out for farmhouses, yeah, with little dogs and wicked witches. Alright, so we are still looking good. Everything is coming along. We're about 40 miles away from the VOR. And a little bit of a low cloud haze build up over the southern part of the city. We pop over to the fort. There we go. We can look down. A little bit of power generation by the looks of it, or industry down there, and then here's the main downtown area. I take it this is the Chiefs, maybe? The ballpark? Kansas City Chiefs? Are they the baseball team? There's an airport. You can see the confluence of the Kansas River and the Missouri River. Definitely the downtown heart of the city there. But we're not heading to Kansas City, we're heading down to Topeka. Topeka, Kansas being the capital of the state of Kansas. And we're heading off towards that VOR now. So we're not seeing it yet, but we should have it. Live performance of that back in your acting days. Yeah. Again, it's another low power, so we'll probably pick it up about 25 miles out, which is perfectly fine. Anyway, fuel is looking good. We can do one more cruise check of T's and P's. All are looking fine, and we'll just grab the next weather, see if there's an update. They've been coming out at it's about 10 to the hour. So the current one for KFOE is not too bad looking, actually. Winds of 340 at 9. 10 miles of visibility, skies are clear, 23 degrees, and 2.996. So we'll just dial that down slightly on both sides. There we go. We're looking good. And we're going to stick with landing on runway 31. Oh, you can hear that Merlin out there. Looks like we're going to hit the edge of this cloud system, and we're going to pass over into a fairly clear sky. Oh, if I zoom out, there he is. Oh, right inside the engine. Airport elevation and Topeka Airport is 1,078 feet, so we're going to use 2,000 feet as our circuit height. So we have a 8,000 foot descent. So we're going to begin that around 30 miles out. And there is the beacon coming in, so let's get a little bit more of a westerly turn. We'll start heading towards the Topeka VOR. Yeah, looks like once we pass through this set of clouds, it opens right up in front of us. Which is very nice. Runway heading, just as a reference, is going to be 312 degrees. So I'm going to set this to 312. This is a reference for my runway heading. Alright, so we look at our distances. We're about 10 miles from the Topeka VOR, so we're going to go to about about 10 miles to go before we begin our descent, and Liam is quoting Lady Gaga in the chat. Very nice. We are through that cloud, and you can definitely see that once we get out of this, it will be fairly clear. Which is very good to see. So it looks like it should be a nice arrival into Topeka. We're going to stick on the main tanks. They are about the same as the auxiliary tank, so that's fine. We can stick to them. I did have a larger fuel load in them today. Once we hit the Topeka VOR, we're going to turn southwards on a heading of 202 degrees. And that will take us down to the airport. The Kansas River goes all the way out to Topeka, which is just over there. City over here on this side is Lawrence, Kansas, and we got this lake here, Wakarusa Lake, and then Topeka is just beyond it. Back one last look around the sky. There's Kevin, and there we go, Wayne and Escort. And everything is looking good, temperatures and pressure wise. So we got about 5 miles to go before we're going to start down. Slowly start working our way down to our circuit height. bring her in. So not sure what happened with yesterday's stream and all that stuttering. As you can see, it's fine and smooth today. So again, not sure if it was the Phoenix or if it was just a bad day on the stream. We'll see. We will be back in it before the end of the month, just after I get back from England. So it'll be a good test. And hopefully, as I mentioned, Block 2 will be out for the update. That would be nice to see. Alright, so we're going to do, even though we're flying VOR to VOR, we're technically a VFR flight, not an IFR flight. So we're going to make VFR calls instead of IFR calls, so there'll be no descent call. We will call on the airport frequency, which will stay on 122.8, for our pattern entry and position reports. That's all good. Alright, time to start down. So we're going to take us down to roughly a 700 foot per minute descent. There we go. And we're going to bring the power back to 20 inches. So we don't overspeed. Now we're just going to watch the rate of descent there. 700-800 feet should be good. And that countryside is looking very nice with the very early autumn down here. A lot further south than we are. We've already passed the midpoint for us on the leaves changing colors up here. Been having some great walks with Molly. And she loves running in the dry, crunchy, colorful leaves. But they're slowly coming off the trees, and there's more leaves on the ground than on the trees now. The warm temperatures haven't helped. I mean, and that's going to change in the next, let's say, Wednesday. By Friday, I think the temperature's supposed to start to switch, and we're going to drop. Our average has been 26 to 29 the last week, and it's supposed to drop to an average of 15 for our highs as of Saturday. So, good change in weather. Good change in weather. So the Topeka VOR is just on the other side of this lake here. This is Delaware Lake. Kind of where we're headed, and then we're going to turn south, and the airport is across the river on the pretty much the south side of town. We're through 10,000 feet. We're going to increase our rate of descent down to 1,000 feet per minute. There we go. Here Wayne's back. There he is. Looking good. Got to keep easing that power back as we come down into the thicker air. Our manifold pressure will increase. Yeah, for the first time this fall, we're seeing single digits in the morning. So it's definitely about to turn the corner and get into our seasonal October. This is way too warm for what we usually have here. I was out walking Molly at 2 in the afternoon 2 days ago, and it was 29 degrees out. It was ridiculous. Alright, there's 8,000 feet coming up. And there's the town of Lawrence going by. Yeah, it could be coming over there. I mean, it's covered a huge swath of Canada, so it could probably make it over there without dissipating. Yeah, by December we should start, well, I guess mid-November we should start seeing lows of -1, -2 overnight, getting the frosts and everything, but we won't see real cold here until January. Even December, maybe -5, -10 at tops, which is not too bad. So when you get to the mid-January to mid-March period, where you get into the -20s, -30s, and if we get a real chill down to -40. There's the lake coming up, and looks like the VOR is in this field around here. Turn a little bit more towards it. And we do have another airport we're coming up to, the Topeka Airport, which is located over here. But we're not going there, we're going to the one on the south side of the airfield, the old military base. Still got an Air National Guard station on it, but that's the one we're going to. 15 miles away, 6,000 feet, so we got 4,000 to go to circuit height. We're not doing too bad. And once again, we want to turn down to a heading of 202 degrees. Alright, let's start our turn. Yeah, you can see the color on the trees down there starting to change. Leaves going reds and yellows and oranges. Well, not reds. Reds are kind of maples. Yellows, orange. Very nice coloring. Starting to come in. Will be interesting to see how she goes over the next little while as we lose the colors here in the States. Alright, so the airport is basically right there. There's the runway 1 and then 2, so we're going to aim for the center point where the runways come together. descending down to 2,000 feet. I'll make it 2,100 feet. Alright, we are looking good. Main interstate. There's the city of Topeka. There's the other airport. This is the main one now, the main commercial airport. It's right on the Kansas River. And of course, this was the old Air Force Base, as I mentioned. Forbes Air Force Base, I think it was. Alright, 1,500 feet to go on the descent. Topeka area traffic, Allegheny 116, 5 miles to the north. Inbound crossing overhead the field, 2,100 feet to join the mid left downwind runway 31 Topeka. Or technically I should be calling it out as, well, no, it's Topeka Regional, so that's fine. We are looking good once again. Nice views out the windows.
Jefferson, I think approximately 5 miles north of the field. Cross overhead, inbound for the left base from a 3-1.
The sky is definitely cleared up. They were correct in the weather forecast of it being clear. It's nice to see. 300 feet to go. Look at that. We're gonna hit the field within 100 feet of our target. Not too shabby at all. So as you can see, we are approximately 90 degrees to the runway. Which is good, so there we go. So we're going to level off here, 2,100 feet. Going to bring power back up to cruise power of 30 inches. And we're just going to hold as we cross over. Topeka area traffic, Allegheny 116, overhead the field, 2,100 feet, joining the mid-left downwind of runway 31 Topeka. So we want to extend out about a mile, half a mile, and give ourselves a little bit of room to make the turn at the base end. That should be about right. Topeka area traffic, Allegheny 116, turning mid left downwind runway 31 Topeka. So we'll make the turn now. We're going to go opposite direction to the arrow on our gauge. And as soon as we roll level, we're going to start doing our preps and our gump check. Still sitting at 2,100 feet. And there we are. Rolling out, we are now parallel, opposite direction. Alright, so fixture, auto rich both engines, propellers fully forward, both engines. It's going to start bringing our speed down. We can come up now, go landing lights on, doesn't matter. Can't see them until the gear's down anyway. There's 140, so gear down. Start bringing the power back.
Contiguous 240, turning left to join the passenger for runway 31. Take it.
Topeka area traffic, Allegheny 116, turning left base, runway 31, Topeka. First notch of flaps. We're going to go around to go perpendicular. Second notch of flaps. Bleed speed, and we're going to keep around 100. There we go. There's the airport. We're heading up to where we're going to make our turn for the runway. Kevin's behind us. Wayne, who knows, be around somewhere. So we're about 1,800 feet.
Base 131.
Looks like we'll be landing and probably getting off on runway 21 and heading over to Charlie from there. Topeka area traffic, Allegheny 116, turning final runway 31, Topeka. Yeah, Kevin, that volume's better. Making the turn. There's the runway. So we're a little bit low, that's fine. Go flaps 3. Alright, so gum check, gas is on fullest tank, undercarriage is down and walk. Mixture is auto rich, and props fully forward. There's Wayne. Full flaps now that we're lined up. Try to trim it at about 90. Now, not sure which way the wind is going. Quick look. Winds are slightly out of the right. Expect a little bit of a crab. Get below 80, or else I'll start hearing the stall signs. We're not bad. I'm seeing 2 whites, 2 reds. We are crabbing, so it looks like we're going to land one wheel down. Should land with our right wheel down first, as we're going to be leaning slightly into that side to counteract the wind. And then we'll let the other wheel come down, so then we're on the mains, and then we'll let her roll out to slow down. But we're going to leave it in a little bit of the crab right now until we get down. It's okay if we go a little long. We do got a bit of a roll out ahead of us. work the rudders and brakes when we get down, just in case with the winds. So steady wind, slightly off. It's not bad. Don't flare it too much. We want to get her on the wheels. There we are. Power off. On the rudders, steering, pushing forward on the nose, keeping the nose off the ground. Just letting the aircraft roll on its own. No brakes required. Holding that tail up until we are almost out of travel room on the yoke. And then we're going to fly the tail to the ground, just easing her down. And there we go. We'll add some power, keep ourselves rolling, and we'll roll up, give Kevin some room, and we'll be good to go. And that's us down. Welcome to Topeka, Kansas. Thanks, Liam. Take care. You have a good day. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, we're going to, we'll just taxi down to Bravo. Kevin should have plenty of room to come in behind us. There he is. It's funny, you do all your training as a pilot, and you never land when there's another aircraft on the runway. You never take off when there's another aircraft on the runway. All that stuff. And yet, when I got into doing air shows and formation flying, we were taking off, lining up all the aircraft at the same time on the runway and just rolling out one after the other, or landing, switching off, especially on wide runways on opposite sides when other aircraft are still on the runway. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah, this is a big runway. This is like almost 13,000 feet long. Don't forget, this is an old military base. That's why the runway is so big. Alright, so here we are. We're going to bring the engines down to 1,000 RPM. There we go. A little bit of brakes to get us around the corner here, slow us down enough that we're not coming around at a ridiculous speed. Then we'll get our flaps up. I didn't see it, Kevin. I wasn't looking back. Alright, so with that done, we can come off. Landing lights can come off. Pitot heat can come off. Transponder is off. And besides, Kevin, you know what they say, especially on a tailwheel airplane, you never stop flying it until the parking brake's on and the engines are shut down. And we're just going to come out here onto the ramp. We'll swing around and park over here by Wayne. As good a place as any. There we go. Alright, so let's get the engines up to 1,000 RPM. Brakes are on. Come up top. That's all good. Oh, forgot to put the boost pumps on. Not really required in the sim, but yeah, you would put them on for when you're at low engine RPM, low pressure. And everything is looking good. So, avionics can come off. And we're good to shut down. So let's go to, which one is it? I got a view here. I was on it when we started. There we go. It's not the same. You don't get the sound. It should be letting me move. Going to the camera. free camera drone. There we go. Get a nice view of her shutting down. Alright, we're going to start the same engine we started first, right engine. So, mixture's going to go to cutoff. Apparently it doesn't do it when it's in that view. Oh, that's annoying. It won't register my inputs. Anyway, there we go. It's right engine down. Left engine down. Both throttles are closed. Let's jump back inside. And with that done, we can turn off the position lights, we can turn off the beacon lights, mags are off, generators are off, that's off, we are good. We can go over to the battery cart, there we go. We'll open up the back door, we'll take position here as we watch Kevin come taxiing in. Well, everyone, thanks very much for coming along. And my aircraft is pink. Oh, lovely. That seems to be back again. Anyway, thanks for coming along. We will be back in a couple weeks once I'm back from the travel I have to do and the company I'm going to have this weekend. I'll post in the Discord when the next flight's going to be, but you can make sure that you come along and join the fun. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Wayne, Kevin, thanks for flying. And Liam, thanks for dropping by in the chat. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your upcoming weekend. Bye for now.